Do not ignore this precious resource in front of me. Today I'm going to be showing you what this is, what it can be used for, how I use it, and the benefits of using it in your garden. What is this precious resource I'm on about? Well, it's wood chip. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. Well, let's take a look at this wood chip pile right here. This was delivered about 2 months ago, and I do believe it is mostly poplar, which has been chipped up. Now, this came with no green material in it at all. Straight wood chip on its own is 999% carbon to 0.01% nitrogen. And that is a lot of carbon. So use this as your carbon source in your compost piles. And we'll be getting to that later. Let's take a look at the quality of this chip. Let's dig down a little bit first. As you can sort of see in this hole here, it is moist, and that is good. You need moisture to decompose wood chips. And you can see some kind of mold / fungus on there, which is doing its job. Now, if I grab a piece of wood chip out of this hole, what you can see, let's just get a decent bit. Right, this bit for example. Right, what you can see, this is 2 months old. If I try and snap this with my finger, it doesn't work. I can take the bark off, but I can't physically snap this in half. It's too hard, right? Now, what that says to me is that this piece of wood is nowhere near ready to do much with, unless you want to put it on a pathway. Let's go ahead and take a look at some that's a year old now. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this pile here, which is just over a year old. And already, when I pull this wood chip back, I'm almost seeing some soil-like, material, or compost-like material. Let me show you real quick. That material right there is what I just got out of this wood chip pile. Now, the difference between this pile and that pile is pretty incredible, right? It's not bad. And if I dig down into this pile a little bit, there's a few tree roots in here, that's because I put this pile underneath a tree. Now, if you don't want tree roots in it, if you're going to put it under a tree, put something underneath it, a bit like a weed barrier or something. If not, then I guess don't worry about it. It's just a bit difficult to harvest your wood chip with a load of roots in it. Anyway, or just don't put it near a tree. Okay, let's take a look at this one piece of wood chip here that I got out of this year-old pile. Now, what you can see is it's a lot more decomposed looking anyway, as is. Now, if I give this a squeeze, this is something quite incredible. You see the water coming out of it? Look at all that water. Right. To me, the difference from this pile to that pile, which is 2 months old, and then this is like 10 months older, so it's a year old, I can't believe the difference. That piece of wood had held onto moisture like a sponge, and that is pretty much the same story for every piece of wood that is in this pile, other than the stuff which is just on top. So to me, that's pretty incredible. You could imagine the plants just sucking up that moisture straight out of those pieces of wood chip. Right, let's go ahead and sieve some wood chip and show you what I use the sieved wood chip for. I think Balti Boy is pretty keen to do so. So there we go, 1-year-old sieved wood chip. So now that we've sieved our 1-year-old wood chip, let's go ahead and take a look at what it can be used for. Have a load of manure like this, just dump loads of wood chip in it. What you got to remember is manure is like pretty much all of it is nitrogen, because you got the horse that pees on the bedding, and you got the horse poop, and that's both nitrogen. And you got the hay, which is sometimes mixed in there as well, which again is more nitrogen. So adding a high carbon source like wood chip, which is, like I said, 999% carbon, straight into a load of nitrogen, you are going to get some beautiful compost over time. Right, let's go take a look at the next use. Don't forget about using it on pathways. It's a great resource. This right here feeds the soil life around your beds, which in turn feeds your plants. You can also stockpile it next to your main compost bays. So when you put high nitrogen sources in it, like food scraps, you can take a handful of this and stick it in there as well. Mulching containers and your plants with wood chip is fine. There's no problem with it. However, do not mix your wood chip in with the soil because it will rob the nitrogen from your soil. So you don't want to do that. Just put it on top, and then at the end of the season, either scrape it away and pop it in a compost bay and let it compost further before putting it on the beds, or just use it as a very deep mulch but never mix it in. Wood chips and grass cuttings make an excellent compost. I've done it before and it is great. And all you got to do is mix. I would personally do about, it doesn't have to be precise obviously, but I would do just over 50% wood chips and then fill the rest with grass, and mix it together and just keep mixing it for the first probably 3 or 4 weeks, because it'll be nice and hot, making sure it's moist, and then you can basically just leave the pile for about a year and you'll end up with some beautiful compost, and then whether you sieve it or not is entirely up to you. Well, here we are finishing off where we started at the wood chip pile. Now I'm going to give you a couple more tips on how to achieve something like this. Now, how do you obtain the wood chip itself? Just look online for a local arborist, tree surgeon, and just ask them, you know, what do you do with your wood chip after you finish a job? Would I be able to have a load dropped off for my garden? And just see what they say, and probably 9 times out of 10 they'll be quite happy to deliver you a load for a small charge. Also, one more thing before I leave: if you guys have had experience with wood chip and you know what you're talking about, and maybe you have some tips to share with other people as well, please feel free to put them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you've learned something through this video, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.